Okay, so good morning and thank you for joining us on this month's 30-minute meeting. We're going to be seeing a demo of Intuit's new QuickBooks Online Point of Sale product. The desktop product is not going away. However, this new Point of Sale Online, we will be branching into new markets with Intuit products. Intuit has previously white-labeled products like field services powered by Corrigo. But this online product is powered by Revel Systems out of San Francisco, California. And we are super excited to be joined by Andy Hoyle, who is going to show us the new online Point of Sale product. So, Andy, what's your role in this new product rollout?
I am actually one of the regional sales representatives for the East Coast of the United States, but has been asked by my company to work with the Intuit sales team to help them through this transition. So I have a good working knowledge, again, of the Revel system and how the new solution is going to work with Intuit QuickBooks.
Okay, fantastic. So do you know how Revel came to be in the point-of-sale software market?
Yeah, no trouble. Two of our current owners, which are Lisa Falzone and Chris Chiavera, about 4.5 years ago, decided to look for a new solution for a point-of-sales components. Right now, currently, at the time, it was pretty much taken over by the legacy style market, and they were looking for taking advantage of the newer technologies, just like the Apple iPad that was just released 6 months earlier, and cloud technologies. So hence, they worked with a local restaurant in close to the San Francisco area and developed a POS solution for their restaurant. And from there, we have grown to thousands of restaurants and have wonderful partnerships along with Intuit to take it to the next level. Currently, Revel employs over 300 employees, and we are currently on 4 continents and growing. And let's get excited about this relationship that we just started up with Intuit.
That is fantastic. We are super excited as well, because I know that quick service restaurants haven't been a great vertical market for us yet. Can you talk about some of the other vertical possibilities with QuickBooks Point of Sale Online?
Most definitely. First of all, I believe with the Intuit products, we're working with a retail stand-up view, working more of a retail style environment, but also taking that next step, working with QSR, which is quick service retail, being able to run with the environments like the quick service food style restaurants, the bakeries, the coffee shops where quick action transactions are needed to run throughout the day. So having that ability to work with those levels would be nice. And then also transitioning to other platforms like focusing more of a true restaurant mentality, focuses on larger enterprise solutions with you. But right now we're starting with the retail, followed up by the quick service, followed up to more traditional style restaurants.
Very cool. And then there's also the capability for having multiple locations and centralized reporting in one place as well, correct?
Most definitely. The great thing about the Revel system is if your clients do have multiple locations, going from your home office, being able to access data from those stores, being able to look at real-time reporting, inventory control, as well as being able to do product placements, again, adding new products as well as turning off products. You can do that from one centralized location, so being able to take advantage of that without having to drive to multiple stores and just do it at the convenience of your office.
That is super exciting. I'm sure everyone on the call is really interested in hearing more about that. So I know there is going to be a little bit of confusion as far as which product a retail customer should choose, desktop or online. How do you guys at Revel segregate that market?
Definitely. And like I said, when POS Solutions primarily started out, it was more of a desktop-style solution, having that legacy-based technology located in your office, and everything is controlled with your office. With Revel Systems, we are an online solution, meaning that the information is stored on our cloud, basically being able to access that data anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're at the store location, it doesn't matter if it's your office, if you're on vacation, you can see what's going on real time with that business with just an internet connection and being able to access your secure URL. Also, the fact is that we do work with the iPad-based technologies. One reason we chose to go this route is because of security. As we've seen in the past with all of the Windows-based technologies and the situation that happened with Target a few years back and Neiman Marcus, the iPad is a protected solution where it won't get hacked by malware or hackers getting into the system itself. And also being able to control every aspect of your operation from the back end. So if things need to be changed in prices, if you needed to see what's going on with inventory, if you wanted to look at reporting of what happened last year on February the 14th, you can actually pull that up on your web browser. And also the solution is a very nice, sleek-looking solution. In the fact that it's not as clunky and cumbersome as some of the old solutions. You're having a very nice, sharp, as well as I'll mention a smaller solution that will be able to run your business with it without losing a lot of space.
That is very exciting. So the QSR space is new for the Intuit family. What features that QuickBooks Point of Sale Online has that will fit well into that market?
The quick service retail is a really strong segment with the Revel family, just as much as it is with retail, and I believe this is where really Revel shines its light going forward with the Intuit solution. First of all, being able to take those transactions very quickly, also being able to take those orders and put them on hold if someone forgot their wallet and have to run out to the car, so you can not slow up service. Also being able to add tips to transactions. Also with our customer relations database, being able to, when you attach a customer to that order, having a pop-up screen that will show how many times that customer has visited in a particular period of time, showing their top items being sold, how much they've bought, including any type of discounts or refunds that might have happened during that transaction. And one of the things that really set Revel apart is our true offline mode, which if you're in a position that you lose your internet connections, the system is going to be able to operate seamlessly. You're going to be able to run transactions. You'll still be able to compress information to your kitchens. Also be able to take transactions like cash transactions and credit cards. So when you swipe that credit card, that information will be processed and stored on the Revel system. So when you do get back online again, that information will then be bursted out to your credit card merchant, then come back for approval. But you can also set up some additional security features like collecting additional information like their names and their phone numbers. You can also limit the amount of the transactions or how many transactions you want to take with your credit cards in an offline mode. So again, our goal is to make sure that if something happens to your services, if it's interrupted, your system will still be able to operate seamlessly, including taking payments.
Wow, that is fantastic and super exciting. I know I've worked with several point-of-sale clients, and when their merchant service goes down, they're kind of at a loss there for a little while. They have to call in all that information, so that's really exciting to hear. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the product. If you could take us through the sales process and then how that is reflected online on the sales report.
No problem. I am turning on my reflector right now so you can see what the solution looks like for the iPad. First of all, this is the login screen for the Revel system. A few things to point out: you do have the capability of doing time management from the system by setting schedules, and you can also set up things like buffer zones, like you want to give that employee like 10 minutes to clock in or 10 minutes to clock in early or later without getting a manager's approval. And we've also taken it another step that you can actually do photo enhancement, photo recognition. So if Bob is running late and asks Judy to clock him in, if Judy tries to clock in Bob, it'll take a picture of Judy. So basically, you do have some security features set up for labor control from the get-go. You can actually swipe a customer, you can swipe an employee card, you can actually add a 4-digit PIN to access the system. Excuse me. Okay, great. And right now we are at the Revel screen. A few things to point out. First of all, everything on the left-hand side over here is going to be where the items are itemized to the order. A few things to point out: if you wanted to add a name to a check, you can actually click on this item and add a name from this level. And you also have our Customer Relations Manager functionality with the system. So these are customers that you can add into the database. Basically, if I go to Jim Moran and I can click edit, you can collect information like their names, email addresses, phone number, birth dates, a particular reference code. If you have a particular customer group that you wanted to assign them to, like a VIP, you could do that. Also collect notes on the clients as well as billing addresses and shipping addresses. And when you do add this customer to the order, it will then populate a pop-up that says that Jim has been in here 3 times this past week, and he has spent a total of $279. So basically, a nice little quirk about this individual and what they bought over an extended period of time. Also, with the Revel system through quick service solutions, you can actually integrate caller ID. So if somebody does call and place an order, if their numbers are in the system, you accept them, it will then add it to that person's customer relations data field. With the settings functionality, you do have your managers functionality. You can do things like your financials. At a quick glance, you can see what you've done in cash, credit, gift cards, checks. You can print or email this log. You can also do things like manage your items itself. For example, if you want to do countdowns on items, or if you're 86 something, you can do inventory controls from the systems itself also. With the settings buttons, also having the capability of printing your sales summary at the end of the day, or your Z report. Have the capability of doing till management, so setting up tills at the beginning of your shift, as well as doing your setting. You can also take in pay-ins, payouts. You can do bank drops. You can also do different levels of currency, which is really nice about the Revel system itself. Other things you can do is, like, when you count that till, instead of just having to count the money itself. For example, if you have like 52 ones or $215.05, you count the bills. And once you incorporate the bills into the system, it will give you a breakdown of all the monies that you've had, what your differential payments are. In this case, I am showing a minus $1,175 of money that I collected in cash when I did my demonstration. So it shows you how much you're short. So a good way to see if your drawers are over or short from the Revel system itself. Other things you can do from here is manage gift cards as well as reward cards. You can actually do the clock in and clock out from the system itself. The Revel system also has the capability of running an invoice system, so if somebody does call up and they want to see some products, how much it costs without bringing it into the system, or taking it out of inventory, you can switch over to inventory. You can then email that information to the customer or print it out on one of our gift schedules. We do have our quick bar down here, and some things that you can do from here is be able to do a fast credit. So if I mentioned this button, it's just a matter of swiping the card. We do have the capabilities of adding discounts to the system itself, so you can discount as a percentage, a dollar amount. Alternative pricing, for example, like you buy one, you get one free, or you can do reprice. For example, if you have time limits on prices, for example, like on Friday between 5 and 7, you get these prices, we can give you that price discount on there. Being able to add service fees, if it's a gratuity or like a room charge, you can do that from this end. You also have the capability of entering in barcodes. You can print your guest checks. You can add an extra item. For example, if something is not listed in the system itself, you can do it from this level, as well as being able to remove taxes if you're in a position that you need to do that. One moment, I need to reset my till since I closed it out. So, okay, great. Everything on the right-hand side over here is how you ring in items through the Revel system if you're not utilizing the barcode. With the Revel system, we have this set up in a one-touch menu, but you can set it up any way you like. If you want to set it up as a categories, followed by subcategories, followed by your products, if you wanted to do a speed menu, you're more than welcome to do that. In this case, I have my category set up. From there, it will bring my subcategories, and then for my subcategories, it's going to bring up my items. In this case, I do have my basic t-shirt and my pocket t-shirt. With the Revel system, if you have multiple items of like designer brands that come in different sizes and colors, you can set up attributes to the system. For example, if I go to my pocket t-shirt, it gives me my choices of my sizes and my colors. So I can hit medium, I can hit orange. It's going to bring up the item. It's going to show you a breakdown of that item itself. You can add that item to the transaction, and it will take that item out of inventory. So instead of having 15 different styles of pocket t-shirts, you can group it underneath this individual item itself. If you wanted to pay for the order item, you can actually just go to the paid screen. With the paid screen, we do have a few things over here. You can do a gift receipt option. You can email the receipt. You can reprint the receipt. You can refund the payment, which is a managerial function, as well as do redeem points if you have a loyalty program set up with the Revel system. With the Revel system, we have multiple levels of payments. I've added the top 6 here, but things like cash, credit, your checks, gift cards, manual credit, credit plus, You can also do things like Bitcoin, Zapplers, Apple Pay, multiple levels of payments that can be accessed with the Revel system itself. Now, when you're ready to pay for a transaction, in this case it's $20, you can actually just hit 20 in cash, or you can hit 20. You can hit cash. It's going to show you your change, and then the transaction will start over again. So just a quick little understanding of the system itself. Our main goal is to set up the system to be efficient and run quickly with your business. The Revel system has been shown to run about 14% faster than most of your legacy-based solutions that are, again, the office-generated computer solutions like the desktop models. Now, what I think, even though the solution is fast and to the point, I think where Revel really will take you to the next level is with the back office reporting. This is accessed through your secure URL and with an internet connection. Again, you can see this anywhere, just as long as you can do those two things. The first thing we're going to show you is the quick little aspects of your payments. It's going to give you a bar graph of what you sold for the day, being able to show you any type of credit, actual cash, discounting, sales tax, and how much your net sells. A new application we just recently added is our Customer Insights, which can show you basically who your new and repeated customers are, their total payments, and their average payment. With the Revel system, we do have our reporting system. Again, this is live real-time reporting. With that, we will be able to show you a sales summary. First of all, we'll show you warnings. These warnings basically show you these are transactions that are still open. We'll show you the amount of money that has been running in over a different period of time. We can show the taxable sales and non-taxable sales, any type of service fees as well as non-taxable service fees, as well as discounting, your taxes and surcharges, any type of liabilities like your gift cards and your deposits, and how the system was and how the items were paid for. We can also show you your total transactions and the average cost of your transactions. We'll give you a snapshot of your credit cards, what has been accepted, cash, or declined. We can also show breakdowns of any items that were returned, any items that have been cost, exchanges, refunds, as well as pay-in and payouts. And you can actually break this down even further. So if you have a solution that runs with multiple point of sales, you can actually break it down into a particular revenue center or a particular POS station. You can break it down into an employee if you assign an employee to a cash register, and you can also look at the particular time frame. So if it's today's date, yesterday's date, you know, what happened this week and this month, or last week, last month, or customizable range. We can also show you the hourly sales. The hourly sales is basically going to give you a breakdown on a per hour basis of what you've sold, so showing your percentage breakdown of your business for that day. We can also break that down into a 15-minute interval if you prefer. You can look up particular product classes. For example, if you just want to see what you've done off of men's t-shirts versus men's pants, you can pull up those items. You can look at a particular POS station, revenue center, an employee, or time and date. The product mix is going to show you a breakdown of every product that you sold for the day. If you have items that have, if you've added the cost of goods, it can show you your top 10 products by product, and also the top 10 quantities sold. What are your best-selling items? And it gives you a breakdown. You can also take that reporting into more detail by doing particular fields. For example, you can sort by a preference or a display field, quantity breakdowns. You can do by discounts, taxes, or margins, and see information like, again, individual employee breakdown sales. You can see the products, for example, the man's cargo pants, the breakdown of the attributes of the cargo pants, how much they sold, the price they sold them for, the percentage of the sales, and how much money was brought in. And breaking that down and to every individual item, and then showing you a grand total at the very end. You also have the capability of showing an order history. The order history shows you every transaction that was charged to that day, and we've also put a few flags in for you to review. For example, if you had a transaction that was opened up more than one time per more than one day, you can actually highlight it in this light yellow. If a transaction was closed on a Saturday and reopened up again on Sunday, you'll be able to see it in this gold color. Not valid means the transaction has not been closed due to some error. Decline means decline credit card, and if it was an invoice, it'll show you on the invoice level here. Now, if you wanted to see the a check in detail, you can actually come down to here and you can click on the item itself. You can show the order, who it was created by, when it was created by, who rang it in, and a breakdown of the transactions. It can show you a breakdown of every individual item, including the payments, including a timestamp, so who opened it and when, and who closed it and when. So if you need to research checks, you can do it from this level. Also, we can break down the payment summary report, so basically showing how all the transactions were brought in, and also every transaction at hand. So if you did have a transaction that had a credit card, it will show the transaction ID, it will show the status, and the last 4 digits of that credit card number, as well as the total. And other reporting, we just didn't have enough room to put in here, so being able to pull up tax report, till reports, label, invoicing. If the business runs off of commissions, printing up commissions report, as well as customer reports. Just tons of reporting we just didn't have enough room for up on the screen itself. Next, we have our products. The products themselves is how you add products into the Revel system. We just recently changed this, and I love this new technology that we just did. For example, if you had a new category, just type in your category. If you had a new subcategory to that category, type it in. And if you want to look at the items themselves, you can click on these items, and it's going to bring up all the items that you have in the system. You can actually take it a little bit further by bringing up the items themselves. You can actually type in a name, a description, which class it's under, if it has an associated barcode. If you do not have a barcode, Revel will actually give it a barcode. You can show if this is going to be also served, if this is also going to be ran online, or if it's on a kiosk mode. You can show different levels of products, even to the point of breaking down products if they're sold by weight. You can also combine them with multiple items if it's like a combination type of purchase, as well as particular tax groups. We can run them with multiple levels of tax groups if it's something that's going to be, state tax, sales tax, alcohol tax, things like that. And also have the capability of, adding pictures of the items itself, giving color codes to the button, so giving that particular item individuality. Other things you can do with the system itself is you also have the ability to set up discount levels, and again, with our discounting, you can set them up in an amount, a percentage. You can reprice it, for example, happy hour style pricing, alternative pricing, again, buy one, get one free. You can enter in the amount. You can set it up if it's for an item or an order. So if you have a particular item, like your shirts are on sale today for 20% off between 7 and 5, you can set it up for these individual items within a particular product group, and you can determine if that is, you can also set a time limit. You can also set up protocols that has to adhere to. For example, if it's a case of wine, and once you get to that 12th bottle, you'll get 10% on that case. So being able to set up multiple levels of discount. We also have the ability to set up multiple levels of taxing that can be recorded to a specific item, as well as attributes to the items themselves. Again, things like size, color, gene length, weight size, things like that that you can add that can be associated with products themselves. The inventory functionality of the Revel system, which is a very strong point of view, which I absolutely, I think I would have loved to have this back in my days when I was in the restaurant business as well as retail. Things that you can do is be able to set up particular classes of those items. You can assign it to particular vendors. You can set up what type of unit of measurement it is. You can set up low threshold alerts. For example, if you, with this basic T-shirt, if you go below your par of 12, it will actually send an email alert to your buyer to let them know that you need to order more product. You can set up the cost of that unit and show you how much inventory you have in stock, and then it will show you the total of your stock. Other things that you can do with this is if you have a price change of those items, you can set the change. When you're doing your inventory, you can put in your actual counts of new product at hand. If you have multiple stores, you can transfer those items in between the stores. If something has been damaged or if it's a perishable item that has gone bad, you can actually damage it and record that into your system. And you can also receive items into the Revel system through your vendors. We also have a vendor management setup that allows you to set up your vendors. You can order from those vendors, create purchase orders, and check in those items through those purchase orders. For example, if you did receive a case of wine and they only sent you 6 bottles, you can adjust that pricing to adjust up to it. Or if you had a price change from new pricing, you can do that from this back here. Also, with the employee functionality, you can set up employees within the system itself. So adding new employees by clicking Add Employee. You can collect information like their names, their phone numbers, PIN numbers, external IDs, Social Security numbers, basically setups for new employees. Being able to also set up roles and wages. So if this individual is doing multiple roles, you can actually set them up as a cashier and an owner, or a cashier and a stocker, and determine their price per hour. And if it is the manager and you do want to give them access to the back end, what we're looking at right now, you can actually add a username, an email address, a phone number, and you can also determine what that person can see. For example, if you just wanted them to run reports, you click on reports, and when they come to this back end, that's all they can access. Also with the system, setting up the multiple roles that you have, and also being able to set up role permissions with the iPads themselves. So being able to set up, again, multiple levels of things. If it's checked, they can do it. If it's not checked, they need a manager's permission. So being able to check what they can and cannot do from the iPad. So layers upon layers of security, what different roles can access on the iPads themselves. And also we do have the capability of doing scheduling with the Revel system. Being able to set up your timesheet rules. Again, what is overtime in your area? What is double overtime in a specific area? 40-hour work weeks. When do you want your day to start? Your time starts. With that, you can set up scheduling. We've also put some flags here for when you set up your schedule. So if, for example, Andy Hoyle myself has worked 40 hours this week, and on Saturday I'm going into overtime. So it's going to be highlighted to let you know that, hey, I'm in overtime. Or Tim Martin on Tuesday is working 10 hours, so it's going to highlight that as an overtime functionality. If you wanted to add someone to a schedule, it's just a matter of clicking the empty spot. You can hit Add New. The Revel system does run in military time, so if it's going to be 9 to 5, it'll be 9 to 17. You hit Save, and that information will be saved from there. You also have the capabilities of doing forecasting, labor forecasting. So if you have a specific labor cost that you want to run at, and you have what you think you're going to forecast for that day, you can set up your forecasting if you're going to be above or below your average percentage of 22%. In this case, I have a 1% margin. So if I'm at anything below my labor cost, I'm going to be green. From green to 1%, it's going to be orange, and anything over 1% is going to be highlighted in red. So let you know that you're running with your labor properly. With this, you can also print the schedule, and it also you can send it out as a CSV file through the Revel system if you do not have it automated. You can also email those receipts, and you can also email these schedules to employees from this back end. We also have a reservation capability that you can set up with the system itself. This is done for things like salons and nail salons, things like that, where you can take reservations through the Revel system itself. And again, we also have our CRM functionality, or the Customer Relations Manager. So being able to pull up information about your client, like Bill Nicholson, you can take his name, information. You can associate gift cards with the Revel system, as well as reward cards, any type of information about mail addresses, shipping addresses, and also being able to customize specific customer groups. And with these customer groups, you can also associate discounts with them. For example, it's a VIP clientele that you want to give 10% off their transactions. You can assign them to this customer group, and the discount will be associated to that customer once they are added to the Revel system itself. And one thing about the Revel system, too, is there is many, many ways of setting up different levels of reporting and settings within the Revel system itself. Our goal here is our goal is basically not going to tell you this is going to how you're going to have to operate the system. We're going to give you that opportunity to design this system according to your client's needs. So being able to give that POS terminal individuality to that specific client is extremely important to us, and with these levels of settings, you will be able to do that. Overall, that is a Revel system in a nutshell. Here we go. I'll pull it up for you here to give you an idea what it looks like. This is a good idea of our retail version of the Revel system itself. Overall, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. And Kat, is there any questions I can answer or anything I can do for you? Hello?
Oh, I am so sorry. So my only question is, that was quite a lot to cover, and I do appreciate all the detail you put into that. The only other question I had was how it connects to QuickBooks Online. I know that connection or integration, if you will, data send does happen overnight, but what do we see once that has happened?
Well, one thing with the system itself is when things are set up through QuickBooks is, first of all, being able to set up the solutions from QuickBooks itself. And it's easy as going to the client itself And from here, just being able to set up your QuickBooks payments, you can set up online integration as well as manage that connections. And you can determine a particular time when that information has been pushed out through the systems itself. Maybe give you more of a demonstration on my end. And with the situation itself, like being able to main point to us is make sure that being able to send over the integrations to the sales summary and the details. We can also send off things like the employee and payroll integrations, as well as purchase orders and inventory integrations that need to be added to the systems. Also doing pay-ins and payouts and other exported data that you're looking at with the system itself. Like I said, being able, from the self itself, just spinning up your particular vendors from the QuickBooks aspect of things. Also being able to show you, to send you over different styles of employee information, which can look like on this field that can be transferred over daily. Also being able to, let me pull that, I give you a visual of how it looks on the system itself. Being able to do things with your key accounts itself, for example, like being able to take over account names, different types of account types, being able to send over different levels of items that can be integrated nightly into the QuickBooks system, as well as showing different levels of methods of payment that might happen with the system itself. And again, I can send you this information if you'd like to have for your own personal use, but this just basically shows you the different levels of how the system can work. I apologize, I do not have a live QuickBooks feed on my system right now that shows that, and I apologize, but overall, like I said, just making sure that we can do this integration for you, and that information can be transferred over on a nightly basis so that when they wake up the next morning and they flip on the computers, all the information that they have given approval for will be able to then be transferred on that level. Just also give you another breakdown of what the integrations itself, but most likely and most importantly what we'd like to do with that online version integration is, number one, again, sales details. Being able to summarize the breakdown of your finances. Making sure that we can see all your inventories as well as the inventory controls that you run off the system itself. Being able to use, your purchase orders, being able to directly sync with QuickBooks Online and making sure that this purchase order is sent over, as well as being able to submit payrolls and manage your payroll and manage your employees' hours, and to be able to sync that data with QuickBooks Online solution on our end.
That is really fantastic news. No need to apologize for not being able to do that now. We really weren't expecting that. I just wanted to make sure that all of our participants knew that there is an integration that does send stuff over, and I think that you covered that very in a detailed way, very much so. Is there anything else that you would like to share? I know we are a little bit over 30 minutes, but I think it's been a very detailed presentation. I know that we also have a couple of questions here from some of the participants that we will be getting you that information and answers to your questions after the webinar, so someone will be reaching out to you. So I just wanted to let everyone know that.
Most definitely, please do, and we'll be glad to get those answers to you quickly as possible. But most importantly is that we were excited this past November that Intuit chose us as one of their partners to basically design and run their new point of sale solution, and we're excited that that they feel confident with the Revel system and what it can do, that we can have a wonderful partnership that's not only going to grow our business but Intuit's business, and also is going to be a seamless approach for your clients.
Absolutely, I agree, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to have someone using it in live and get to sit in action.
It's fun.
I really
you'll love to play around with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do appreciate your time today, and I want to thank everyone that was able to join us for this month's webinar. And again, if you have any follow-up questions once we end the webinar, feel free to send those in, and we'll give you answers to those as well. Thanks again, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for the time today. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out to Kat with any questions, and we'll be glad to answer them and have back to you as soon as possible.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.